More than once I've gotten a comment like this: God does X for you, but he lets children starve. God does X for people, but he lets children starve. And my response has been, does God feed you? So far, nobody has replied to that question. And I think it's because they understand that if they say God does feed me, then they're acknowledging God, which they don't want to do. And if they say, no, God doesn't feed me, then why do you blame him for not feeding somebody else? God gets blamed for lots of things that fall squarely on the shoulders of evil people. Back in the day, I read a book called Between the Eagle and the Dove, and it was about the Christian view of foreign politics. And you go through the whole book, and the conclusion was, that's a really difficult question. For instance, back in that time, Idi Amin was dictator of Uganda, and he was a ruthless dictator. People were suffering under him, and the U.S., I believe, at least the Red Cross, tried bringing aid into the country, and they left the aid there. That's all they could do, and the fact was nothing got distributed. Idi Amin and his soldiers kept everything and got fat and happy while the people under him continued to starve. And that problem, like so many that people glibly throw up here on TikTok, is more complicated than people like to admit. And the root is the evil of man, not the evil of God. It seems to me that underdeveloped countries are often rich in natural resources, and if they could get the income that they should get from those natural resources, they would not be poor, they would not be starving. But there are man-made issues that prevent that from happening. I guess what I'm saying is look at where children are starving and ask why. The reason is not God is letting them starve. And even look at our country. We're pumping billions of dollars into wars. Think alternatively what those billions of dollars could do. Where children are starving, it is man's selfishness that is causing them to starve. Resources are there. It's not God's fault. It's man's fault.